Sandra Barrett, Senior Content Editor for JOC. I'm at our Port Performance Conference and I'm speaking with Don Snyder, Director of Business Development for the Port of Long Beach. Thanks for speaking with me today, Don. About 2 months ago, I spoke with your Chief Commercial Officer about how the port had seen record volumes this year, despite everything that happened as far as congestion on the West Coast. Looking ahead to 2016, how have port operations changed since this time last year?
Well, they've rebounded very well in a lot of areas. First, let's start with the ships. The ship owners, the vessel sharing alliances are stowing their vessels much better than last year, so the cargo is coming off in a much more organized manner for delivery as well as for handling the exports. In addition to that, the chassis operators have formed the pool of pools so that all chassis are interchangeable. Whatever truck picks up whatever chassis, it's going to work. And so factors like these have really improved the operations. Additionally, the terminal operators, their organization is working with longshoremen and are providing a lot of crane training, which is allowing, again, for more productive loading and unloading of vessels. So we're seeing a lot of good things. We're not to where we want to be, but we're doing a heck of a lot better than we did last year.
The crane training, is that a change to operations?
Well, it's not new, but it's better. And it's like a lot of processes, it's improving them. What they've done is they've improved the type of simulators they're using that allows the crane operator, as they're going through training, to have a more realistic training experience. And they've seen a lot of good productivity gains with the people that have gone through this program.
We're discussing productivity at today's conference. What is the port doing to remain efficient moving forward?
Okay, there's a couple of different factors. And as a landlord port, our primary function is developing infrastructure. And as the ships change and supply chain patterns change, we also have to change the infrastructure. So in this decade, we're spending about $4.5 billion on upgrading our infrastructure. And it's in 3 areas. First, for the transfer of cargo, because that's what the ports are in the business of, is that we're spending about $1.5 billion on terminal improvements to upgrade the experience of cargo coming off ships and moving to trucks and trains. Second, we're putting about $1 billion into improving our rail infrastructure, both on dock loading capacity, but as important is the staging capacity for the quick transfer of cargo between the terminals and the railroads. And finally is a lot of our cargo moves by truck, so we're spending about $1.5 billion on highway improvements.
What about megaships? How are they changing the game for you?
Well, in addition to the infrastructure that we build the terminals, the roads, and the rail at the facilities, but our tenants are the ones that actually operate the terminals. And at the same time that we're putting in our $4 to $4.5 billion, they're spending about $1 billion on capital equipment. Just as an example, we currently have 62 ship-to-shore cranes. The terminals have 8 new cranes that are being tested out currently. There is purchasing of 24 more cranes and the raising of 12 cranes to handle the higher loads of the newer ships and the greater outreach.
How are you approaching the need for supply chain optimization?
Well, it's interesting. We have, as our chief executive notes, he formerly worked for a package express company, and they had control of the freight from the minute it was handed over to them until it was delivered to the final destination. When it comes to our supply chain, it's all these different partners trying to hand off cargo from party to party. Some areas are more efficient than others. So we are working together with the Port of Los Angeles and the different stakeholders. And where we're focusing is the terminal to land transfer of cargo. On the water side, the vessel operators have a contractual relationship with the terminals and they can figure out how to be productive. But on the land side, you don't have that relationship. So we're pulling the parties together and focused in 2 areas. Terminal operations optimization of how do we transfer cargo to the truck and to rail more effectively. And the other area deals with information, because you have the flow of the actual product, but additionally you have a flow of information about the shipment, and that is not optimal at this time. And we think doing that better allows all the parties to plan and transfer this cargo in a more smooth and fast manner. And the other area is what they call KPIs, or key performance indicators. So in order to know where you're at and how you're making progress to where you want to be, we need to have a better handle on that in the key areas of performance.
Thanks for speaking with me today, Don.
Thank you very much.
I've been speaking with Don Snyder, Director of Business Development for the Port of Long Beach.